Hello everyone and welcome to the simple properties exercise. What we're going to go through today is a bit of a review from what we did last week. Not too much, but some review in terms of making a symbol, what a symbol means, as well as changing the properties of that symbol. We're going to be doing two very simple exercises. One has to do with rotating it, creating new layers, things like that. The second thing has to do with a completely different way of creating animations, which is considered frame-by-frame animation. You might use this later in many different ways. We're going to start with the simple properties, though. So, first and foremost, I have created a new Flash file. I'm going to skip to step 4, where it says double-click on layer 1 in the timeline, and we're going to name that red square. Okay, we need to keep track of our layers. Up here you have layer 1. If you have layer 1, I would assume that you assume that we, and I spell square right, that we can have multiple layers. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to keep track of those layers via naming them. I can't spell square right. There we go. So, as you can imagine, a red square symbol is going to go on this layer. Later, as you sort of scroll down, you're going to see that you're going to be inserting multiple layers and multiple tweens. So, step 5 that says at the top, where there are various menu items, choose Insert New Symbol. We're going to insert new symbol. This should be old hat. You're going to call this, believe it or not, and I'll spell it right this time. I can't spell square. There we go. We're going to call this red square, and it's going to be a graphic. Okay, when I hit this, I'm going into the library. Remember the difference between being in the library, being in this sort of sketch area, and being in the scene. There's a difference. Okay. It says make sure the drop-down menu is set to graphic. We did that. It says choose the rectangle tool. We've done that. Click on the fill color and choose a shade of red. We went over the fill color and the stroke color last week. In order to draw a perfect square, and this is step 10, it says click and hold and draw the square. You can make a perfect square by holding shift down on the keyboard. So I'm going to hold down shift, and you'll see that I can't sort of make it. I'm trying to go over here, but it will only give me a red square. Okay. Now, I've separated these into sort of, the different parts of making these movies. So we're going to move on to creating the tween with a rotation. Okay. So it says click on the scene 1 at the left. This is me getting back to the scene, which is very important. Take the graphic from the library called red square and drop it down on the stage bottom left. Okay. Remember, and I don't know if I went over this last week, this is called an instance of a symbol. We can have multiple versions of these things, but I'm just going to use one of them. Okay. It says move up to frame 60 in the timeline, and I'm going to control click or right click on that, and let's see here, insert a frame. Choose insert a frame. And I'm going to choose any frame between 1 and 60, and I can right click or control click, and I'm going to create a motion tween. We did this last week. This should be old hat. It says click directly on frame 60. With the black selection arrow tool, or the selection tool, the black arrow, grab the red square and move it up to the top right. Okay, this is pretty much a review. Now, what we are sort of changing with this is dealing with the properties. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the properties tab, which may be connected. It should be connected to your library. Remember, I'm in Classic. That's the sort of mode I like to work in. So library and properties are going to sort of live together over here on the right. And then under this, then I'm going to click on the tween. It says we have rotation, we have ease, we have path. I'm going to rotate this 3 times. Okay. Now, it sort of takes that into account during the tween and rotates that 3 times. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is practice this. So you can create a new layer and call that purple square. Create another layer and call it green square. So I'm going to go over here. This, and a couple of you said the icons are quite small, and they are. But underneath our timeline here, I have my new layer. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to call this purple square. And I'm going to spell it right. All right. And the third one is going to be green square. Okay. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that when I inserted the layer, this isn't in the step-by-step instructions. I want to talk about this though. When I insert the layer, it sort of extends the length of the movie out for those new layers, green square and purple square, because red square takes up that amount of space. It's basically saying, hey, I've got a movie 60 frames long. Whatever you insert in here, even though it doesn't have any content yet, is going to be 60 frames long. Okay. We have a blank keyframe, and then we have a bunch of blank frames. We're going to basically do the same thing we did to red square with the purple square and green square. So now, the next step, and I'm going to pause the video. I'm not going to sort of do this. I'm going to sort of hope that you can do this on your own. It says insert two separate new symbols, make one purple square, one green square, and then repeat repeating basically steps. Let's see here. The steps, sorry, I'm looking at it. Basically 5 through 10, okay? Up at the top, okay? So we're inserting a new symbol, naming it, drawing it, but choose the appropriate color. So I'm going to stop the video and sort of show you what I've done here in a second. Okay, I'm back here. You'll see that I have 2 new symbols. Green square, I placed that in the center, and I have purple square, okay? I've set those each are in the first keyframe. However, since there's other frames, as I said before, going through frame 60, they take up that amount of space. All we have to do now, and this is a little bit different, we don't have to go to frame 60 and insert a frame. We simply have to create the motion tween, and I'm going to do that twice, okay? And I'm going to go to green square, and I'm going to push it up here. And I'll go to purple square, and I'll push it up here. And then I need to go back to these tweens, whoops, and go to the properties, and I'm going to rotate each of these 3 times. So I'm clicked on that purple square tween, and then I'm going to click on the green square tween and rotate that 3 times, okay? And now we have that. The only thing different when you do these the second and third time, and I do want 3 total ones, is that you don't have to insert that frame up at frame 60. We just simply create the motion tween and then push the symbol up to the top. So I'm going to control test movie. And there we go. Okay. One thing I'm going to point out, and I'll just sort of visually point this out, there's a hierarchy here. So I can move these around. You see me clicking and holding. You'll see, and I'll put them on top of each other. Right now the purple square is literally on top. I can grab it and put it on bottom. I can take the green square, put it on there, and move those things around. When you're creating space, when you're creating kind of atmosphere, you're creating scenes, you're going to want to put stuff behind stuff to create depth. And we're obviously going to get away quickly here from squares and circles and those things and start creating people and images and things that are a little more complex, but we need to sort of understand these concepts. So last but not least, you're saving the Flash document .fla. Remember, you don't type in .fla. If I were to go File, Save this, okay, there's NC. It automatically adds the .fla there, and you're going to name this your first name, last name, what does it say? Simple properties, and then you need to export it or test the movie, and the SWF will be created. I haven't looked because it's not due until tonight at the files, but I hope I don't have any FLA files. I hope I have all SWF files. Okay, that's it for simple properties. We're going to head into frame by frame animation. One last thing I'll say is you have a animation critique to do today, or sorry, do next week. It's called The Street. It's a very complex and simple movie all at the same time. And I really want you to sort of sink your teeth into that critique, just sort of what you think of it. It's an easy movie. I think it's 6 or 7 minutes. It's an easy movie to sort of zone out to and pick a spot and sort of watch what happens. I've posted that on D2L, so you should be sort of discussing that over the coming week. Next up is frame by frame animation.